Hey nerds, welcome to my second battle report of Tomb Kings vs Dark Elves. No scenario this time, just a regular battle report played at my local gaming store. And yes, I finally found some artwork including Tomb Kings and a Dark Elf. Today we'll be playing 2000 points. A Lore of Life from the Dark Elves versus my Lore of Nehekara, both level 4s. I'll be playing with a strategic trap, which I'll explain later. And I will finish this video with a fact of today. And as the Dark Elf general enters the desert, his troops witness a vast army of undead preparing for battle. They will see a unit of 50 skeleton warriors on the left with a tomb prince, so all level 5, web skill 5, a catapult, 50 spearmen, 20 archers, 10 archers, 6 snakes, necropolis knights, and a casket of souls, of course. The Dark Elves play with a chariot. They have taken 9 cold ones, about 30 sea guard. There's a level 4 in the sea guard, and there's a BSB in the cold ones. Behind the sea guard there's a manicore with a hero on it, with a special lance doing these 3 wounds, which is particularly strong against monsters. He's taken some witch elves and some furies, and he has also taken 2 units of vanguarding dark riders. I want to elaborate on the bottom unit, the king with Ramhotep, and the level 4 in the spearman unit. The king has a web skill 10 and -1 to hit, glittering skills, fencer blades. There's Ramhotep, and this is important because he gives the unit hatred and frenzy, and he is just a standard necrotect and very vulnerable. He has one more special rule. He gives the necronites a rerollable armor save. So that's why I took him. He's only 110 points. So we are about to start the game. The first turn goes to the Tomb Kings. They cast some spells, they do some moving, doing some insignificant damage, 2 cold ones dying, some furies, the chariot taking some wounds. Then it's up to the Dark Elves already, and they move up. Their entire line moves up, preparing for charges next turn already. I think it looks like this. He casts a Dwellers Below on my Spearman unit, which is fine. I mean, I'm expecting this, because what else would you do against units of 50 or 60 skeletons? During my turn I move back a little to make his charges longer. Then it's his turn, and he takes his time to measure up and to think about the charges to make, because this will determine the entire battle. Very interesting turn. He decides to make all these charges. Yeah, I would have done it slightly different, but that's fine. One thing I'd like to point out is that he knows what he's fighting against. He has lost from this army 1 battle before this, so he knows what not to do, and he's just figuring out how to deal with my army. There's only 1 filled charge here on the Manticore. Other than that, all charges make it, including the cold ones, into a huge army of skeleton warriors. I'm pretty confident about this, because they will be stuck here for quite a while. There's the witch elves, which made it into the snakes. Well, let's see what happens there. There's the dark riders making it into the skeleton archers, not really important. And in the center there's the sea guard making it into the skeleton archers, which is fine, which is all going pretty much according to plan. He moves up his chariot, he moves up his furies, and he casts another Dwellers Below. And now my Spearman unit, as you can see, it's less than 20 models. I'm starting to lose confidence, because they won't be able to stand up against all those sea guard, and they really need support. His cold ones during combat kill my Tomb Prince. It's pretty smart, can't help it. He kills some skeleton warriors on weapon skill 2. Yeah, just average. His sea guards kill my skeleton archers and overrun into the spearmen. His dark riders are stuck as well. So the snakes against the witch elves. The witch elves go first and do 2 wounds, which is pretty average statistically. The snakes, they kill like 15 witch elves, so I'm starting to count the combat resolution, and my opponent says, no, it's just leadership 2, and he rolls the insane courage. So I'm like, no, this really ruins my plan. The snakes won't be able to help the skeleton warriors, the spearmen. So now it's my turn. I don't have any charges to make, everything is in combat, and during my magic phase, which I really need this turn. I mean, this is a crucial magic phase, and I break my concentration on the first spell. 3 dice to roll 7 or higher, and I roll 6. I'm like, no, I really, it's really bad luck. It's a setback I probably won't be able to recover from. So no spells except from the casket doing some wounds on the manticore. The catapult shoots. Attempts to shoot, but misfires. He misfired twice this game, and the second time he blew up. He did nothing, unfortunately. So during combat with the Sea Guard, you're smart enough to kill my Necrotech first. So the Necrotech doesn't provide the spearman's hatred and frenzy, and I make the stupid mistake to declare a challenge, which he obviously declined. And then he gets to take his level 4 to the back, instead of getting killed by the Tomb King, which was in combat with it. So, yeah, terrible mistake, I messed up here. The combat resolution, in the end, it's pretty close. It's about a draw, and I know that he's going to reform his warriors into my Lich High Priest, into my Hierophant, which I don't want to lose. And I decided, well, he has more models left, so he's lost anyway. But perhaps I can stretch it, so I stretch out, and he does the same. And I do this in order to cancel out the rank bonuses, so he is no longer steadfast. But in hindsight, I think this gives him a lot more attacks, the double hand weapons. So this is clearly not beneficial for my combat resolution. The snakes, the Necropolis Knights, they don't kill the witch elves, but they let them flee. They overrun into the Furies. He kills another pile of skeleton warriors with the cold ones, and we're going to his turn. And during his turn, he resurrects some Sea Guard. He casts Earthblood, Flesh to Stone getting dispelled, which is a decent magic phase, and he kills my High Lich Priest during combat. And some warriors, of course, because he gets an insane number of rerolls with those Dark Elves. However, there's only 1 skeleton warrior and 1 Tomb King left, and with that he can only give a single negative modifier to my combat resolution next turn, apart from rank bonus and banners and stuff. So my king might be able to hold out for a while, and perhaps even survive the battle. The Necropolis Knights get charged by the Manticore, the hero and the Manticore, but together with the combat resolution of the Furies and the Manticore getting killed because he doesn't have any armor or ward save, the hero flees and gets overrun by my snakes. So my snakes are in a good position now to charge the chariot, which is less than 7 inches away. I might catch it as well. However, I forgot to see the skeleton warriors almost getting beaten up by the cold ones, and you'll see what happened next. I do charge a chariot, he flees, and now I'm out in the open. During my magic phase I cast only the casket because I don't have any spells left, and I don't do anything if I remember correctly. But the cold ones beat my skeleton warriors, and that's all I do. Then it's his turn. Of course he had reformed, and then we can make a charge into the Necropolis Knight. They just die, because those Dark Elves, those cold ones, even though there are only 6 of them, they reroll to hit, so they hit everything. They reroll to wound, rerolling once. They have strength 6. I only have a 6-up armor save left, rerollable. So they just die and crumble to death, those knights. It's kind of a mistake made here, to charge Chariot. However, on his turn he also miscasts and steps into the warp and takes with him about 10 Seaguard, which is hilarious, really. So we don't have any magic anymore, except for one Casket of Souls. And the Tomb King is holding out there pretty good against only a small number of Seaguard left, and it's a tough fight. So his chances of survival are increasing, which is quite funny. His Dark Riders had charged the Casket of Souls, which explodes, killing the Dark Riders, killing some Seaguard, but also killing my own Tomb King. Which means it's the end of the game, because I had my snakes getting killed by the Cold Ones and my general getting killed by the Casket of Souls. And look, there's only 7 Seaguard left. Ah, I was so close. So I lost. It's a minor loss. Almost a draw, really. I think it's a 12-8 for the Dark Elves. Well, now to summarize the game, I think there's 2 moments where I was unlucky and couldn't really fix it. First, I had a broken concentration on the first combat turn with a small spearman unit which really needed some support. They needed some healing, they needed some extra attacks, or the Seaguard losing some toughness and strength. That would be great, but you know. Then there's this moment when the Witch Elves roll their insane courage and delay my snakes for 1 turn, and it completely destroys my plan. Then there's the bad decisions, always important. Declaring a challenge against the wizard was of course a stupid idea. And sacrificing the snakes on for a chariot on the final turn. I shouldn't have done that, of course. I shouldn't have done that. I would like to point out I'm pretty happy about the performance of Romhotep, even if he gets killed every turn. At least it's something your opponent has to deal with. He can't ignore the frenzy and hatred, so he has to kill it. And then it's a weak character, but he also provides the rerollable armor save, and a 3+ rerollable is better than a 2+ statistically. So basically against strength 3 enemies, the Necropolis Knights have a better armor save than, for example, Chaos Knights. Now there's something I'd like to point out with my archers. It's like a trap. And I will explain this with a few pictures. So usually if you're playing Tomb Kings and would fight the enemy units one-on-one, so like this, then you will lose the game, because your units are simply too weak and you're too slow to make the charges in most cases. So if I want to win, I would really need my enemy to have certain disadvantages, like getting flanked or rear charged, or fighting alone against several Tomb King units, something like this. So what do? I will take some points and put them into a skeleton archer unit. This is bait, of course, for him to charge. It's a small sacrifice, like 120 points, but on the other hand he's like, well, I really want those archers to be gone because they do wounds on my chariot or whatever. They annoy him. And he thinks, well, let's make a charge. I can't make it to the giant or the snakes, or it's a very risky charge at least. So I'll just fight the archers. It's always a good thing to be in combat soon, and we'll see what happens next. So he does, he charges the archers, he starts rolling dice, and he's feeling pretty confident about all his kills, and he kills like 16 archers, and he asks me if I crumble, and yes, of course, they die. Then he has to make a decision, and he realizes that he can overrun, but then get flank charged, or he can reform, but then I will just ignore one unit and charge the others. So he probably decides to overrun. And there's one more important thing, because then it's my turn before combat. I charge. Now it's my magic phase, and I can cast magic spells to boost my units. And we have one full turn, one full phase of combat before he can anticipate on anything. And this is exactly what I need as a Tomb King player. And if I win, it's because of this strategy. Thank you for watching. Please please leave some feedback in the comment section below.